We're back. Plumbing Around, sponsored by Temecula Winnelson. I'm Scott Thornton, president and local owner. Today we're here with Sean Arnett.
Yep. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So you are the publisher of Temecula City Lifestyle?
That's right. Yeah.
Very cool. This is I like that kind of stuff. I like writing. I like that kind of stuff.
Of course.
I'm excited to hear about some of the stuff you talk about. So what does a publisher do? What?
Gosh, yeah. The funny thing is, as a publisher, I probably have a lot less to do with how the magazine looks and reads than a lot of people would think. I do. So the way it works, most people know my fiancée Desiree is our editor, and so she handles the whole editorial side. So what's on the cover and all that. I get input, but I also, my view of the magazine is a lot different than hers. And what we found after the first 3 or 4 months is that it's a lot better for her to do all the stuff that's going to be read and how it's going to look and feel. And then I do more of the business side. So really my job is to go around and talk to people. That's what I do all day. Today, I think you're probably the, I don't know, 15th or 20th person I've talked to.
Really?
Some of those I walk into businesses all day. Some days, today, I did that from 10:30 probably till about 2:30. I go somewhere where maybe I've had some kind of a connection, and then I'll walk into the next 3 or 4 businesses and just sort of see what they do. Because for me, the funny thing is I don't do much with the stories that are in the magazine, but for me, my job is all about story, because I'm the one who's going to help somebody advertise. I'm the one who's going to help it make their business better.
Okay.
And that's all story. I'm a big believer in story.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Stories are, that's the lifeblood of the world, really.
It's the only thing that ever changes anybody. You don't learn. I never learn anything from someone who tells me what I should or shouldn't do. I learn from somebody who says, "Oh yeah, I did that too."
Yeah,
and this is how it goes.
Yeah.
And
maybe
then
don't try that.
Yeah, maybe I'll listen to that story. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, instead of my parent just telling me, "Don't do that."
No, that just makes me want to do it. Don't think of zebras. What's the first thing in your head? I just want to think of a zebra.
Those are black and white.
Yeah, exactly.
So what is the magazine about? City Lifestyle. What?
Yeah.
Explain, please.
Well, we hope it's about Temecula. That's my vision for it. We're a part of a big franchise. So City Lifestyle, there's 220, I think, and it's growing really fast. We purchased our franchise in 2023. Yeah, June of 2030. It's just over 2 years now. Since then, there was 75 total magazines at that time.
Oh, wow.
Now there's 220.
That's explosion.
And they had been around 15 years before we bought. So, the first 15 years was less than, a third of how many magazines there have been in the last couple of years.
Why do you think that is? Do you have an idea?
It works. To be honest, the thing is that they have a great business model, because the magazines, we don't have to create all the look and feel and all that kind of stuff. There's a company behind it. And so that part makes it where distribution and printing and all that, it's a slam dunk. Every month they do it all the time. And they've kind of worked on who should be in the magazine, where the magazine is going, how it affects people and all that. And then it really becomes a big part for Des and her team is making the magazine readable, because we want the magazine to be about Temecula. I want it every month. I love it. There's been 3 months so far where I didn't even see a digital copy of the magazine before it showed up at our house.
Oh, wow.
And so when it showed up, it was because the funny thing is I never get to experience the magazine the way anyone else does, because I already knew what's in it. I'm so past those stories or over all that. It's
forward looking.
Yeah, I'm 3 months. We're working on a magazine 3 months ahead now.
Gotcha.
And so there's been a few times where I've just told Des, you don't need me, so just do it. I want to see what it's like. And the box comes and I open it up and I sit down and I find something that's interesting or unique. We wrote. One of my favorite stories is a guy who's an ultra marathoner. When we wrote the story, I think he was 61 years old, and he was running these 100-mile races and in a jester costume, no less. Which is, and it's all, it's to bring awareness and all these things, but it's a really unique story of someone who's, eccentric, living in our town and doing something amazing. And we've written about local artists, and really, I hope that the magazine brings people a little bit better connection to their community and a lot more awareness of what makes it up. That's kind of what I hope the magazine's
Well, it is
about.
such a great community, really.
Oh, it's unique.
It's how do you even describe? I would say it's beyond friendly.
Yeah. Especially for Southern California.
Yeah,
because we're not really known for our friendliness in our cities and stuff like that. Yeah.
It's welcoming and very friendly.
Yeah. I think it's remained just small enough, where you do, a lot, if you live and work here, especially, you end up knowing so many people and just being able to say hi, where it feels like, I think I've lived here 5 years. And it does feel like almost like a place you grew up in. Yeah, because there's enough people that know you. It feels good that way.
Yeah. I just don't like the traffic anymore.
Yeah, that part is getting old. Yeah, for sure. There's worse places in Southern California for that.
True.
Though.
Yes. Yeah, and I don't want to live there.
Yeah, for sure.
So who's writing the stories then?
We have a team of like 5 writers and then another team of probably 5, I think, photographers, all of which, have like a unique perspective that they bring. And then Desiree works with a team. And even me, I write some. I've written, I think, 2 or 3 articles now.
Nice.
If it's something I'm passionate about, because we all kind of talk through the month about the month we're working on, and then the next 2. And we know the themes because those are set by the franchise. So knowing the theme ahead of time, then there's a lot of gears that start to run because we want to find something that connects with the theme. And then, so a writer might have a great idea, or a photographer might have a great idea. I might have a great idea. Whoever that is, then Des has to start making sure it happens. Cause there's a lot that goes into writing a story and making it into something that's readable. Is, there's a writer, there's a subject, then there's the editor, and having to get it in on time before deadline, because our deadlines are no joke. Yeah. If you miss it by 30 second, it's just not in the magazine.
Just like, too bad.
Well, with 220 to do a month, they can't play with that. And so, then there's the person that you're writing about. They have a calendar and a schedule. And so all of that, it gets pretty intricate every single month. And every month we're right up to the deadline. We usually, and the deadline, it's like the same day, it's the same date of the month every month. So it might be a Sunday, it might be our deadline, or it might be, a Saturday night or whatever it is. And we just kind of have to buckle down and get everything typed out and in there and stuff. Yeah. A lot goes into it.
All right. And then, so they have a format then probably for you to enter your information to get it in, or what's the process of?
Yeah. Luckily they have a whole back end system. So like, even if I'm putting in an ad for somebody, I just upload it, and as long as it's in the right format. But for the stories, like each writer has their own portal. So they can go in and they write the story and they see the photos, and we ask, like, depending on who it is, the writer might give captions for the photos because of the story, or we might have the photographer do that because of what they were feeling in that moment. Or, Des has to work through all of that part to make it super intricate, readable, and make it fun, for everybody. Yeah.
So what led you to be a publisher, to put out a magazine? What,
childhood dream, that's always what I want. No, not at all.
No.
Yeah. I don't, it's funny. I've never chosen my career path ever. In college, I just wanted to be a football coach. I was going to play as long as I could, which I knew was that there was an obvious expiration date coming. But in college, I wanted to finish out. And then I wanted to be a football coach. I did that 1 year after at San Dimas High School, where Bill and Ted famously went. So not the same campus, but I was a football coach there for a year, and ended up not doing that for a lot of reasons. But for a while, I drove a truck, and then got a chance to get into sales. Did that for a long time. I just have. Opportunities have always presented themselves to me. And the weird thing is, they always super fit the experience I had at the time. Okay. And this one, of all things, before this, I was the vice president of sales enablement for like a Fortune 500 company. And before that, I had done it for a Fortune 100 company. And then, like everybody though, in corporate, there's these times where they just go, we're not doing that anymore. That team is done now, and you're over 50 and you're kind of freaked out and all that. And so I started just, thinking about what my next job or my next career was going to be. And City Lifestyle had been reaching out to me on LinkedIn and stuff. And I honestly took the call as like, I have some time. I'll do an interview. It's a good practice. And when I heard it and saw it, they sent me some stuff and I talked to them, and I was hooked. And for me, my background in sales is I can't sell anything that I wouldn't buy. I just can't. I cannot do it. I can't try to convince somebody to do something I wouldn't do. And so when I saw the model and I saw what it could do for people, I was like, okay, I like this. And I didn't want to leave Temecula. That was the biggest thing. When anytime you are looking at a major job change, relocation is always on the table. It has to be kind of, especially in a community like Temecula, because it's not like there's not a lot of Fortune 500 companies I could go do that for.
Kind of a commuter.
Yeah. And it's not a great commuter town. Like commuting from here, it's not always easy. Yeah. But I didn't want to leave, and being able to be a part of the community that way was super exciting. And Des and again, our backgrounds, when they were telling us, this is what you're going to have to be good at to do this, we were like, okay, check. We got all those parts.
So kind of like a universal alignment.
It is. Yeah, it has been.
Nice.
It's been a lot of fun. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you and Des make the decision together then?
Yeah. So
to go in together?
Yeah, I met the person, and, we went through it, and I was like, I don't know much. I just know it's really cool. Like, you should see this. Yeah. So then she did. And then we flew back to Kansas City. And did like a training where, like, at the end, like probably a typical franchise thing, where at the end you can kind of either do it or not, kind of a deal. And I was totally hooked. But I told her, I said, I don't know that I could do it alone. Like, I really think I'm going to need your help. So you will have to decide together if we're going to do that. And while we were walking through their in the training center, they had a magazine from her hometown, Tucson. Oh, and really? So she was able to look through. She goes, "Oh my God, that's my dentist." And like these kind of things. And she was like, "I'm in. I'm in all the way right now." Yeah.
That's, just lining up the right way.
Just weird things. Yeah.
That's cool.
If you can listen, there's usually some messages out there. Right?
Yeah. That's cool. So are you guys native to California then, or?
I am. So Des grew up in Tucson.
Okay.
She's been in California now about 5-6 years. I grew up in Yucaipa, which most people think Ukiah, which is by Humboldt, but it's actually, the funny thing is, it's only 30 miles from here, and it was way bigger than Temecula when I grew up there in the 70s.
Really?
Yeah. It just didn't. It's now the same size as it was in the 70s, and Temecula has grown a lot. But yeah, I've always lived in Southern California. I think I've lived in like all the counties of Southern California. In fact, one day in a sales job, I actually went in, I had a sales meeting in all 5 counties one day.
Really?
It was a ridiculously long day. Yeah.
What is your least favorite county?
My least favorite county? I can't say that. People
all right.
are going to think I'm crapping on their county. I avoid LA. I have the least experience in San Diego County. I'll say that. Yeah, like I'm more of an Inland Empire OC guy.
We can say your favorite. I just don't want to. Didn't want to do the typical.
My favorite is the Inland Empire. I'll say that all day. Yeah, the rest of them, they don't know what they're missing.
We're controversial here, Sean.
I know. I got to take a stand somewhere.
So I saw that you went to SIU.
I did. Yeah,
Southern
for one
Illinois,
semester. Yes.
What?
Yes. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Husky, right?
Saluki.
Yeah,
an Egyptian hunting dog. Yeah, I had to look that up before I went. Yeah.
All right. How did you wind up there? So I'm from Illinois. So I was like, what?
I could hear it when I first met you. I know those voices. That was a weird one. So I was playing football in junior college at the time, mainly because I didn't like going to class in high school a lot. So I was the 2.000 guy. And so schools were not that amped up on me at the time. So I went to junior college for a couple of years. And I think I had 3 games left my second year, I blew my knee out bad, really. I've got like a huge scar here. And so Southern Illinois was 0-30 at the time, and I was an option that wouldn't have been available to them a week before, and they were an option that was willing to take me, and so I went and showed up there in January.
Oh yeah,
in the snow.
Yeah.
Then what's like 2 months of rain, pretty much with tornado warnings, and all kinds of good things that I'm not.
Well, at
used
least
to
it was
all.
just warnings.
Yeah, there was. Well, the one warning was really freaky, but yeah. So after one semester, I came back to Southern California. I figured out another option to play football the rest of the time. Yeah.
Yeah. That's my stepdad.
Okay.
My mom made him move back to Illinois to be by the grandkids when we were there.
Okay.
And he grew up in LA.
Yeah.
And he made it 1 year there and he's like, no.
It's rough.
No.
My daughter just got home from Chicago today because she's moving out there in September with friends. And I keep trying to tell her, I don't know, you're going to not like that winter.
Yeah. It's rough. I think the coldest I ever was in was -75. That's
with the wind chill
and temperature.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine.
Yeah, everything's kind of shut down at that point.
I was in Wisconsin, Green Lake, Wisconsin once in February, the week after the Super Bowl, and it was -27 on the thermometers. The snow looked like sand, had little waves on it because it's so dry. And I had taken about a 2-mile walk. And I was in, I had to go to Eddie Bauer before to like have a coat, but I didn't realize I was walking with the wind. And then I turned around to come back 2 miles and I was going from tree to tree. Yeah. Like to try to like get my face from freezing. Oh, it was the most painful thing. It was brutal.
Yeah. I could never go back. Yeah. No, not after 16 years here.
Okay. So 16 years you're officially California.
I'm a California now. It gets to be about 60 and I'm like,
if I can't wear shorts in the winter at least once during the week, I'm out. I can't do that.
So we talked a little bit about you, but who are you? What do you like to do? What are your hobbies? Who is Sean? I mean, we found out now you're engaged.
Yes, I am.
To the lovely Des.
Yep. We've been together now for a little over 3 years.
Okay.
I have 2 adult kids, Paige, who's 25. She'll be 25 in September, and Garrett's 22. They live in Orange County now. They grew up in Riverside. Like I said, I've lived all over Southern California. Hobbies wise, I started a business 2 years ago, so that's my main hobby.
It's got time for a hobby.
I maintain some regularity with the gym still, just because I can control that in the morning. I really like golf, but I've had I've got a bad back, and so it's an easy excuse to not do something I love. But yeah, I kind of like to nerd out on things too. I like to build things. Like I built my own desk at home, like a kind of a steampunk desk that is fun, and so I like to do stuff like that.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah. Hang out with the family.
That.
Yeah. It's really cool. I'll send you one.
Very nice. And then you don't want to move from Temecula. You like it so much, huh?
Yeah.
What is it here?
There's nothing. Like I said, I've lived all over, especially in the Inland Empire. There's nothing close. Like if you don't need to live in Orange County and you can live in the Inland Empire. I've lived in Rancho Cucamonga, which is probably the other nicest city I think that we all have to share. Redlands is super nice and all that, but the bubble is a real thing. I like the bubble in Temecula. I like that our traffic sucks in one way, just because you can't really, you're not going to cram 300,000 or 400,000 people in here and make a new Riverside. Yeah. You just can't. There's no room. It is what it is. It's a little too far to drive to work in Orange County comfortably. And, it's a little too far to get to LA. It's a little hard to get to San Diego every day.
People do it though.
Yeah, they do. They know I lived in Riverside for 15 years and did sales off the 91 freeway. And one of my best accounts was in Studio City. Oh, I was there every 2 weeks, and I'd leave at 9 a.m. for a lunch meeting. Yeah. Hope I make it on time, or show up 2 hours early and sit in a Starbucks doing nothing. Yeah. Yeah. So, but I that's what I like about Temecula. It still feels like a small town. I do know, and I have roots here now as they're 5 years old, but I know a lot of people. I have a lot of friends here. And I just think it's a place where, where I can leave my door and I can be on vacation in 10 minutes because I can be sitting at a winery and I'm overlooking some, great beautiful vineyards, and, it just doesn't feel like any place else in Southern California. Like even Orange County, you can't do that. It's unique. Yeah.
And again, the people are as friendly as can be for the most part,
and
right?
super helpful.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like I said, I starting a business a couple of years ago. I knew nobody. Because I was at the time I was working in La Jolla, you know, and so I moved here because of that. My son and I were living in Riverside. And I told him finally, I'm like, man, I can't do this commute from Riverside. So I moved here and I would drive to La Jolla. I would come home. I would go to the gym. I would go to the grocery store. And then I would go home and go to bed. And I would do it again and again and again. And so all of a sudden I went to a chamber meeting and I literally didn't know a soul. And, you know, we've been really well accepted and people are very friendly and helpful. It's unique, to say the least.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's coming up for the magazine? What are any big plans? Any special issues coming?
Well, yeah. Well, today this was kind of fun. So this is our brand new one. I literally just got it like before I came over. And
nice.
Your first ad is in here, so I thought I would bring it to you.
Very nice. I'll check it out. I'm a dog guy, so you got me.
That's our kids and pets issue, which is always fun to try to write that. We let our daughter Zoe, who's 9 and lives with us, she writes there's a publisher's letter every month that I write or Des will write or something. We let Zoe write that. I think she wrote one of the articles in this one that is about some stuff that she does. So we try to do some fun stuff like that. And then now we move into some really cool ones. So we're doing style next. That one is always kind of fun. I like to see what Des is going to do with that. Last year we had this bonkers Mercedes-Benz on the cover. It was like $230,000 Benz that was like limited edition and all this. It was really neat doing a shoot for that. Yeah. And then it's Temecula's month after that because it's food and wine. Ooh, so I'm talking to wineries right now like crazy and try to, do something unique, bring it in a new angle, something that people didn't know. Yeah. Something like that.
That's cool. What would you say? So are you able to shape some of your vision and then with the magazine with it? You said they give you ideas and they give you things, but are you able to throw your vision in also, you and Des, to kind of your little curve on it?
Yeah, to a degree. I mean, there's definitely guidelines because it's a lifestyle magazine and it's a family magazine. We mail them directly home to families. And so there's some really unique things that we can't do. You know what I mean? Like I can't show a casino. Now I could show their restaurants, their spas, their logo, all that stuff, but never table games.
No gambling.
There are some limitations, but yeah, our vision is easy to get into it because one of my longest jobs was I was a pastor. Like that comes up from time to time. That's why story is important to me. Yeah. That's what I used to do, is tell stories. Like that was my job. But there's that thing that is so unique when you meet someone, like maybe someone who sells plumbing supplies, but is a poet, you know what I mean? And that is like my life's vision, I think, is to see people go from point A to point B. I wanted to be a football coach, and there's something so unique about seeing a kid who, maybe comes to you and they're a little awkward. They've never played, but then after a year's time, they've advanced so much because they care, because they're actually there to do it. And I love that part. I love that part of being a pastor and all of it. Teaching and helping is it's important.
I got a guy for you to meet then, because Eb, who works for us, is a football coach.
Oh, no way.
So, he works with us full time. He took the last year off, but it's been in Elsinore.
Okay.
The last few years.
Okay.
And, but he was a head coach, not this past year, but 2 years ago.
That's a lot while doing a full-time job.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's been offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, but he loves it. It's a passion. So you guys have to have a conversation.
Yeah, I would love to. Yeah. That'd be fun.
He is a fun guy.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
So if people are interested in your magazine, where can they find it? How do they reach out? How do they get a subscription?
Yeah, we don't do subscriptions.
Okay,
we've thought about doing some of that. We direct mail home, and that's picked kind of by the organization, and then we send out to almost 1,000 local businesses. So doctors, dentists, coffee shops. If they don't have it, ask them about it. And if they ask me, I'll make sure they get one. And we usually, if they go to our Instagram, we try to do a magazine drop every month. Like maybe if we wrote a story about a local business, we might try to, leave 10 copies. And, when they're gone, we'll go leave another few. And, we don't, I don't leave stacks around anywhere just because we want to make sure that we get them where people really want them.
Right. Yeah. Don't waste
and we run out like every month. So it's kind of, I try to I have to be careful. Yeah.
And then you say advertisers. So if someone wants to advertise with you, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Yeah, definitely. You can, best way to be email me. My email's in a magazine. So if they find it, just find out, go to the page where everybody is listed that made it. And I'm on there. My email address is there. Our Instagram, there's always an ad in there with probably my phone number on. So that's an easy way, or they can just get me at sean.arnett@citylifestyle.com.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, my last question is, what is your favorite food?
My favorite food. Oh my gosh. So I'm definitely not a foodie.
No.
So if I'm saying, like I heard you talking a little earlier about hot dogs and baseball. I'm also on, my son and I now, I think we've been to like 8. We try to go to different ones all the time. I did like the garlic fries at Seattle were a little much. I was like a little garliced out by the end of it, but it was good. It was good. Probably my favorite food is probably I'm going to go with pizza.
All right.
Or
you can never go wrong with pizza.
A California burrito though.
All right.
Whenever someone added the fries in and just gave it a name for us like that, that's how I test all Mexican food restaurants. Yeah. Yeah. You got to go to the gym the next day, but you can get it down. You can get it down.
Nice. Well, thanks for being here. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you.
It was fun, and I'm excited to check out this month's magazine. And yeah, thank you very much.
No, thank you. It was great.
All right.